Hi, I'm Brian Palestis from Wagner College, and the work that I presented today is work that students at Wagner College have been doing for undergraduate theses in my lab, looking at zebrafish behavior and, relevant to this conference, specifically effects of alcohol on the behavior of the fish. We specifically looked to test for a U-shaped dose-response curve, specifically to see if hormesis was present, which is a little bit different from the experience of some of the other presenters who sort of discovered hormesis by accident, that we specifically chose low doses of alcohol and to see the effects that that would have on the behavior of the fish. One of the behaviors where we saw the most dramatic impact was on shoaling, which sort of commonly known as schooling, is the grouping behavior of the fish. And what we found was that at low doses of alcohol, the fish would group together more tightly. So we could measure nearest neighbor distance of the fish, and it was smaller than it was in the control. And then as the dose of alcohol increased, then the fish got more and more spread out. So very clear J-shaped dose-response curve going from the control to the low doses and then up. We may also see hormesis in the escape responses of the fish. And the way that we tested that was placing a fish in a small beaker that was surrounded by a rotating drum. And on that drum was a black square that frightened the fish. So when a fish saw that black square, it would swim away. And there was some evidence that at the low doses of alcohol that the fish reacted sooner, so that the alcohol was stimulating their behavior. We looked also at a variety of other types of behavior in the fish and did not see evidence for hormesis in those cases, or in some cases the evidence were unclear. Other types of behavior we looked at were activity levels, so how much the fish is swimming around. And in that case, other people have found that low doses of alcohol stimulate the activity level of the fish. We didn't have enough data to really show that statistically because there was a lot of variation in the response. We also looked at species recognition. And in this case, the zebrafish would be in the middle of a long tank with another zebrafish on one end and a related species on the other end, a pearl danio. And we would record where that test fish would spend its time. The control fish, as expected, spent more time near their own species. At the high doses of alcohol, that preference was erased. And then, surprisingly, we have no idea why this was the case. At the low doses of alcohol, they actually spent more time near the other species. And then the final type of behavior that we looked at was, well, originally we intended to look at learning behavior in the fish to see if they could learn the location of food in a Y maze. And they didn't learn the location of the food, but we also looked at just the effect of alcohol and the time it took the fish to reach the food. So even in the fish that had undergone no learning trials, that we saw that alcohol inhibited the time that the fish took to reach the food. And it looked in this case like there was a threshold response, whereas at the low doses, the fish found the food pretty quickly, and then at the higher doses, the time to reach the food was greatly increased. And in some cases, the fish never found the food and the trial was just ended.